Hello there everyone and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Fall the Republic 1.0 playthrough as the Galactic Republic. So this is no longer a preview playthrough. I think these are the first episodes I'm recording after the release of 1.0. Although they are not the first episodes coming out after the release of 1.0. I think we're going to start off with an assault on Empress Tata. Do you have the Praetor? No, you don't have your Praetor yet, so I think we will start off by sending you back to Kuat.
There's nothing we can't handle. Cruiser ready for combat.
And
Moving into positions on your command.
well, we have a bunch of ships there. Yeah, so hopefully everyone's enjoying the release. There's one main bug that is like incredibly strange that we are trying to hopefully track down at some point. Where pretty rarely, like it seems to be very rare at least, which is a good thing, but also makes it harder to test or to debug.
Plot our course. Cruiser ready for combat.
Huh.
Bring her
But yeah, so occasionally you'll like load a save and it'll double spawn everything, and I don't know what's making it refire every single Galactic Conquest script. It's not something I've ever seen before, and well, we had some reports over the last year where it would happen. I think it only happened once or twice that we heard of, where the hero units would respawn, in Thrawn's Revenge in particular. But it seems to be a bit more common now, and we don't know what the exact cause of it is, so we're trying to keep an eye out for that. But there are a few other things that we're working on, from some like quality of life improvements, like the upgrades for heroes like Talon. We're probably going to be making those happen a lot faster, or next to immediately, because when you have a required orbiting unit for them, it'll sometimes cancel the building in an annoying way. So we are going to try to stop that. Basically make it so that you pay the credits and then you get it. And then we'll probably try to figure out a better workaround that keeps a kind of build time with it. But right now it's just more frustrating to have that cancel than it is to than the imbalance from having them be immediate builds. Because I think in my own playthroughs, like the first time I tried to upgrade Talon and the first time I tried to upgrade Vumasa, the same thing happened. So that's something that we're probably going to be changing in that direction. Thank you, Vinny, for subscribing. So this is being recorded live on Twitch, so for those of you watching on YouTube, I will be trying to answer Twitch questions as we go. My main recommendation for people is usually just trying to use multiple save files. Let's get Frozen Boris in here. That way, if you're saving like once every half hour or something, even if you do hit that bug, you'll be able to not lose the entire playthrough. Impetus can come in here. Let's get the two Venators on the side there. We get a lot of damage out of Frozen Boris there. We get Victory 1. I have landing gear. Poorly acclimated. Cuckoo Kachu. And Starfire. One of the other difficulties with debugging that particular bug is that I'm just gonna get these guys all situated first. So let's get Antilles' shitty combat bonus. What's on second? I don't know if I have who's on first here. There is a who's on first. There was some coordination in the names there. Thomas the TIE Fighter. Count Carrick. Krakatoa. Get Carricked. The Jim Brenlow. Solidarity. Missing question mark? Carrick's are just baby dreadnoughts. Seabox. Regular Carrick, I think. There we go. But yeah, so one of the problems with debugging that bug has been that it's got to be something that's happening in the save. So like when you're loading the save, it can't be after the save that the thing that causes it is happening, because it happens consistently with the same save. So if a save has it, then the save has it. Which means when we're trying to load a save, trying to figure out like what the state of whatever it is that's causing it is, then we can't really get that information because it's already broken. So by the time we know there's a problem, the problem's already happened, and you can play past the point. Like if you're in game, if you don't quit, then it's entirely possible to just move past whatever point was causing it. Because it seems to be some interaction with how certain data gets saved. Because basically what happens is the starting event, like all the events seem to get reset in the story file. And it's very annoying.
Cruising speed. They're losing reinforcements. Cruiser here. Ready for command, Captain. Bail out. I repeat. Bail out. Target.
Lats aren't weak. They're just they're not one-man armies, especially considering the size of fleets in the period. Like they're very powerful, but they're not gonna solo win you a battle without having sufficient numbers.
Missiles locked on. Rockets away.
And a lot of their power does come from fighters, which is very valuable. Like, I feel like people still sleep on how much of their damage is actually coming from fighters in both mods.
The war is ours. Got you on the comm. Engines idling. Targeting computer online. Captain here. Cruiser here.
You guys are not in great shape there.
Locked on target. Engaging ground thruster. Fire for maximum effect. Get down. They're in our sights. Cruiser standing by.
All right, go for you.
This is the captain. Sir, enemy primary engine system is down. Ready for combat. Captain here. Let's blow something up. All power diverting to weapon.
Right. They are probably gonna get some more reinforcements, and that's not ideal. The bug can happen, I'm pretty sure, with either side. We've had it reported.
Preparing assault salvos.
It's got to be something with the state of some value somewhere is making the game for some reason think the entire story setup needs to restart. And it's not even like it's part of the Lewis script that's refiring. It is Lewis scripts that are set, like they're triggered by XML story events. So without the events refiring, they wouldn't be, because I'm pretty sure it closes those scripts, so it shouldn't it's some core part of the game functioning in a way that's interacting weirdly somewhere, and it's very confusing.
Cruiser standing by. Reading you. There's nothing we can't handle.
You guys need to get out of there.
Missile destroyer here.
Thank you, Mr. Captastic, for subscribing.
Squadron's at half strength. Ready for command. Missile destroyer reporting in. Issue a command. Cruiser ready for combat. We'll take the fight to them. I may be slow, but I pack a punch. Primary engine system is down. Cruiser here. All stations ready. This is the captain. Awaiting your orders, sir. Moving to attack.
Alright. It's just there's so many of our units that have lost engines, or else I'd leave. I feel like we're gonna lose everything if we leave at this point.
Cruiser standing by. Moving into positions on your command. Yes, General. torpedo launcher has been destroyed. Your orders?
Our launch bay has been
Damn.
destroyed.
Alright. I think we need to go.
Light speed.
Get out what we can.
Lost our launch bay. The separatists have cut off our reinforcements. They took out our lasers. Look to the skies. Now that's how it's done.
Lost Kukukachu, I have landing gear, impetus, solidarity, a Venator, and a VSD. They did get the engines on that VSD. I'm gonna have to check.
Constructing.
I'm gonna probe and send a probe in.
We got you covered.
We may just leave Empress Tita empty.
Building started.
Let them do what they're gonna do. And I think before we queue up, like before we try to replace those units, we're probably going to we're gonna try to build what's it called? Stop airlocking? No, give me your oxygen. 'Cause we haven't built that one yet. We built everything else already. But we are gonna see what they've sent at Bothawui. They didn't think we had a fleet there, so they won't be sending too much. Okay, they sent 2 subjugators, so they are gonna send something. 2 subjugators and a Lucre Hulk. But I think we can take that.
Objective looks protected.
They do have a tactical droid. They sent their ground forces with it. Because they thought they had... There wasn't any space opposition for them. So they thought like they could just traipse on in here.
Got you on the comm.
It's really kind of rude of them, to be honest. If you really get down to what it is, it's rude.
We might be small, but we pack a punch.
So we need to kill this stuff, but we need to be mindful of the fact that there is going to be a subjugator jumping in and then a subjugator jumping in.
Holding position.
So let's try to fall back here.
Watch your flanks. Whatever it was they were looking for.
Luckily, they don't have as much in the way as small support ships.
Delta free here. Hectic for our sensors.
Captain here.
Let's see.
At your service.
Who do we got? I think these are all regular ships. Yeah. Nope, that's the not Ascendancy. My Cousin Invincible.
Knock it off.
Don't really expect the My Cousin Vinny references in these playthroughs, but gotta appreciate them when they come.
Captain.
Reading you. Sir, we need to clear the area of all enemy status. Got you on the comm.
I'm gonna try to get you guys out of the nebula.
You got the captain.
Captain here. Vectoring to the enemy.
Alright, bombers onto the bulwark.
Ready to deliver. Your orders? Main cannons charged. We should clear the area. Battle stations. Locked on target. Fire for maximum effect. Target at maximum.
I'm only gonna use powder weapons on a couple of them. And you guys can just finish that.
Engines are destroyed, sir.
Here we go.
Your orders, General.
For some reason, it seems to have caught on that like the best way to take on Lucre Hulks is to surround them, which is very much not the case. So if there's anyone like I'm planning to do a like a basic strategy guide for both of the factions and then the TR factions as well. But if there's one piece of advice that people take from these videos, it's please do not surround a Lucre Hulk.
Yes, General.
They have
Concentrating fire.
yeah, we're gonna try to go for you first. But they have 4 firing arcs, like, essentially. If you want to think of it. Like, each one has a certain... Each hardpoint has a certain firing arc of degrees, which technically means it's like it's not, like, fully distinct. But if you are attacking them from one direction, you're really limiting what they're able to do. If you're attacking them from all directions, then they're getting a lot more out of their weapons. They're able to do so much more.
Ready to deliver. Give me a target. Carrying us apart. We need you to take them out.
Alright, you guys, Y-Wings,
I recommend we
the Ion Pulse Cannon on that side.
coming through.
You guys get the Ion Pulse Cannon on this side.
Full throttle.
You guys try to stay out of the Lucre Hulk's view. 'Cause that's a Lucre Hulk battleship.
They took out our lasers. Our launch bay has been disabled.
Your orders?
They were in some unfortunate positions.
On the comm. Breaking comm silence.
We've lost our launch bay.
Captain here.
They've destroyed our torpedo launcher.
Cruiser here.
Primary engine system is down.
Alright, get the Ion Pulse Cannon.
Primary drive system is down.
There we go. Okay, I'm gonna send the bombers after the battleship. Try to take down some of the shields.
Look to the skies. We're taking heavy fire.
Standing by.
Yes, Admiral.
We might be small, but we can't come
We're under attack.
Our launch bay has been disabled.
Repeat. Fail.
Alright.
The captain.
It is going to be a bit more difficult to take when we are trying to focus on so many different things. Or two giant different things.
The torpedo launcher has been destroyed.
You've got the captain.
We've lost our launch bay.
Don't stay
Primary
there.
engine system is down. They've destroyed our torpedo launcher.
Inside. They won't know what hit them. Reinforced Captain here.
Our lasers have been destroyed. Fire for maximum
Alright.
effect.
I don't think this is going to work for us. We were too spread out when that started. We could kill a subjugator. I don't think we're going to kill two. We're probably not going to be able to kill the Lucre Hulk after this.
Our Quentin's here.
At your command. Engines idling.
Well, we don't have engines on you anymore. We're probably going to lose the engines on you. So we may as well take it out.
Transmit orders. We'll make short work of them. Signal coming through. They won't survive the day. All lights are green. Preparing assault salvo. This is the captain. Yes, sir. Blasting target. Got you on the comm. Cruiser here. Ready for command.
The torpedo launcher has been destroyed.
Let's blow something up.
Alright. I think we'll be able to get enough damage to kill this.
To deliver.
Just maybe.
Battle station.
It'll be close.
No.
Locked on target. Got a bolter on your tail. Nominal status.
Our launch bay has been disabled.
You got the captain. Good work. Striking target. Sir.
They took out our lasers.
Take cover.
No.
Engines are destroyed, sir.
The Lucre Hulk will be able to screen for it pretty well.
There's
Let's see if we can send this guy around.
anchors away. The enemy doesn't stand a chance. We can't take.
So if we can keep
Sir, more
these out of range of the Lucre Hulk,
Sir, we've
we should be able to kill that.
got you on the comm. Engaging drive thrusters.
Just keep it kind of floating around the edge there.
They're everywhere. Awaiting your orders, sir.
Target at maximum firepower.
Heading for attack coordinates.
You got the captain. We might be small, but we
Captain
pack
here.
a punch.
Locked on target. Nominal
All right.
status.
That'll be a subjugator death right there.
Stations. Yes, sir.
You've got the captain. Republic light cruiser.
Whatever it was they were looking for, it looks like they already found it. Reading you.
Stop waving around. Just die.
Locked on target. Bearing set. Give me a target. Acquiring target.
If they start getting shields back, then we definitely lose.
There's nothing we can't handle.
You can go straight out.
Your orders, General. We're outnumbered. Attacking target
Yeah, I think they've got their shields back.
for the Republic.
I don't know if we'll be able to break through that.
Battle stations.
Chill.
Got you on the comm. Engaging drive thrusters.
Our Quinton's here. Disable their laser cannon. Engaging.
Captain here. Bearing set.
All right. We're taking out the transports. This carrier's being a real MVP.
Yes, General. Breaching enemy hull. Reading you. Nominal status. Vectoring to the enemy.
Is that... nope. The Architens is dead.
Give me a target. This is the captain. Battle stations. Locked on target. Nominal status.
Fire for
All right.
maximum effect.
If you do power
There's
weapons,
nothing we can't handle.
maybe you'll be able to do this without tanking the Lucre Hulk
They've
shots.
destroyed our torpedo launcher.
All right.
Fire
Venator.
in. I'll clear the
Primary
waters.
engine system is
Clearing
down.
the waters.
Our lasers have been destroyed.
Locking on target.
One engine hard point.
They're in our sights.
No.
Yes, sir.
You got the captain. This used to be a judicial ship, you know.
God.
Aye. All
We
power.
can't allow it to get the shields back. That's the only
Hope the
thing.
last frigate at your service. Light Corvette here.
Yes, Admiral. Firing. Blasting target.
I wouldn't say any of this has been cheesing it.
Blasters charged. Striking target.
All right. Can we break through those shields? It's one hard point.
Warning is loaded. Time
Nope.
to die.
Come on.
Attacking target.
Yeah, we can't do it.
Public.
That sucks.
We have been defeated.
That was so close. God damn you, shields. Running next update for Fall of the Republic. What can players look forward to aside from bug fixes, new maps, graphical updates, more resources? So for the next updates, they'd be basically for the hot fixes. We're mostly focusing on fixing bugs, but there are a few things that are going to be changing. Is like some quality of life updates between like Fall of the Republic 1.0 and TR 3.0 based on feedback. And having more people with more playtime now than we had in testing. So there have been some changes to influence values, especially with difficulty levels. Hopefully we'll be able to get some documentation changes and stuff.
Us?
But
Accelerating now.
there will be more information on
Building
specifics
under
of
construction.
new content after we exit the current dev cycle.
Destroyer reporting.
All right, what do they actually have
Construction
there?
complete.
Where is our mandator? I want to split these guys up. This shouldn't be...
Tactical battle imminent.
There's Bothawui. We might be able to hold off some of this. Like, we wouldn't be able to win this, I don't think, but...
What the trooper? They're gonna wrap up here first. I'm a holding up.
So one of the things that is going to be changing influence-wise is that when you... So there's the negative influence from battles, In previous releases, influence was only for income because there wasn't enough mechanisms to increase and reduce it, so we didn't want it to be too powerful. So
Guns ready. Job's not over.
we made it so that like certain of the effects were somewhat overstated. So like the influence loss from battles could be up to -3, and that has been reduced to -1 after a ground battle. And we've also made it so that a ground like so that once you take a planet, that doesn't apply. So like if you have just taken a planet, the influence, the negative influence doesn't apply. So you aren't going to start off with a significant negative influence value. Usually it wouldn't be super impactful, but for people who weren't immediately building up up their influence, it could sometimes be enough for a roll on higher difficulties if it was left alone for long enough. So we've removed those, which should help smooth out some of the unrest that some people were getting. Because like we wanted to make it so that protecting your planets is important. If they get invaded, people won't be super happy, but the effect was just slightly too big, and it was a bit too punishing on planets that were just taken. The other thing is that there is going to be a bit more variance from difficulty, like I mentioned. So there was +1 influence if you were on easy, I believe, already. But now it's going to be +1 if you're on medium, and then +2 if you're on normal.
Clankers won't see it.
Or, did I say that correctly? It's +1 if you're on normal, +2 if you're on easy. I think I said it that way, but just to clarify. I'm not the most awake right now.
Do I look like a droid? Into the trap.
So that'll be stuff that's in TR for the next release. It'll probably also be in the Fall of the Republic hotfixes. But with that kind of stuff, they won't be save compatible. Obviously, well, like the updates will be save compatible. It's just the specifics of some of the changes aren't save compatible, because those scripts are like part of the save. I'm really hoping we'll be able to figure out what's going on with the reloading of stuff, like of the story scripting that I was talking about. That's kind of our main priority right now. But it's the kind of thing that we'll probably need to get really lucky and have a save file that exists, like have someone be able to make 2 saves that are like a minute apart, where one loads and dies and the other one doesn't, where you're able to continue the one that doesn't for a minute and still get the bug. Because otherwise it's going to be very difficult for us to see where it's actually going wrong. Oh, Dylan?
Wired up. Yes. Now we're talking. Violating orders.
Alright, back off. Well, we can actually, if we can get some of these build pads, I'm willing to put the money in for it. So, turret. I'm gonna send the saber tanks up there, and yeah, let's just hold here. Alright, and let's get an AV turret and an AI turret. I'll probably want an AI turret there. Alright, back off a little bit. Here comes Grievous. Here comes Santa Claus. Here comes Santa Claus. Alright, we killed Grievous, but we don't know what his flagship was right there because I didn't mouse over him. On the galactic level.
Have the good part.
Turret constructing.
Talking. Back at it.
There's some crab droids there, some boffins as well.
Enemy bombardment is ready.
Alright, I'm gonna try to move up. They're probably gonna want to orbitally bombard us. I'm not sure where they're gonna try to do it, but they are gonna try to do it. I'm gonna see if they built a field base up there. Alright, get the anti-infantry turret, because you are infantry. Let's get a sensor. If you could all please attack it, that'd be very helpful. Alright, they do have a field base. And that's where a lot of their infantry is probably coming from now. They do have the Magna Guards, so part of it is from that. But if we can take out the field base... There we go. Alright, you can get out of there. They may build another one, but if we can fight up to the landing zone, then we'll be in good shape. Alright, we're going to start getting into position just in case they build another one.
Our base is under attack.
You don't need to die. If you really want to, you can, but you don't need to. Here we go.
Turret constructed.
Alright, the Magna Guard is the most concerning thing. But we can kill the other stuff, so.
Construction complete.
There we go. Oh, there's two Magna Guards. And the turrets. Alright, they are using the back-to tanks. What we're probably going to do with those, because right now, obviously, it doesn't make much sense that, like, the droids heal from back-to tanks as well. We're probably going to make them be, like, rather than specifying back-to versus repair, make them be, like, just more thematically clearly infantry versus vehicle repair. Or infantry healing / repair versus vehicle, rather than making more categories for it. Because that we only have a limited bit field that we can use for it, so everything we use for that kind of distinction, we can't use in other places. Yeah, I just did a great job on new sound effects for this one. There, get rid of the fucking. Just blow it up. None of that. Alright. See if we can kill the turret, and then I'll probably try to use some anti-infantry turrets on him. Well, we can bring in more units, so... No, don't worry about him yet. Take out the turret. Here, just go shoot it. And speeders, go kill him. There we go. Munificent. Okay, he's at the lowest tier now. We still need to make these messages more generic, rather than specifying that it's yours. We could make it just not show up for the Republic player at all, but I think it makes more sense to have it do that. But right now, it's clearly not generic enough. Alright, let's see. We wanted to build... Raider, so I think we'll just buy oxygen there. And we'll start rebuilding a southern fleet here. So we'll get whichever one you are. Gotta wait for Grievous to go away. Like, we could make it a different message for each faction, but that's actually slightly more annoying to script. Like, it's not a huge deal to do it, but it's both simpler to script if it's just Grievous telling you, and also probably a bit more thematically interesting having Grievous taunt the player. Where did I put my Mandator? That's really all I want to know. I don't think it died. No, it didn't die. It's in Mace's fleet. Is it? Oh, was I? Oh, I was playing before we had... Right, we didn't have icons for it yet. It's my bad. Thank you, Revenant. Alright. We'll give them a little bit more support.
Construction complete.
And then we're going to use them...
Copy.
Probably going to use this to take Tita. I don't know that we'll do it immediately. When Calamari is being invaded.
Destroy battle imminent.
3 Lucre Hulks, a Providence, and a Percusant Dreadnought.
Reinforcements en route. Ready for attack orders. On my way, Commander. Reinforcements en route. At your command. As you wish, Commander.
I mean, I've said we couldn't hold this before, and we managed to.
Reinforcements en route. Flight plan. Cruiser ready for combat. Moving into positions on your command. Reinforcements.
Considering we can stay behind the Golan and take on some easier firing arcs here, should be doable.
Moving into positions on your command. Watch your sides.
But that actually brings us to one of the other things that's going to be changing in Fall of the Republic, is that right now the defense station tiers, so like the main defense stations, are the TR ones, obviously. So that's why they're like Golan 123, Valaduja, and Briss. There are some assets being made for Father Republic specific ones. So, like the IGBC one, Intergalactic Banking Clan one from the original Clone Wars cartoon. There's also the Haven, or there's the Valor from the new Clone Wars cartoon. And those are going to be basically slotting in where the Golan 3 is. And all the tiers are going to shift up one in Fall of the Republic. So where a Golan 1 is the tier 2 station in Fall of the Republic currently, and is going to stay that way in TR, it's going to be the tier 3 station as soon as some of those assets and reworks are done. Because right now it is quite easy to defend in a lot of situations because of how strong the defensive stations are compared to a lot of the ships. And we'll see how that goes in TR. Some adjustments may need to be made to just in general, but in Fall of the Republic, the idea is going to be to shift up the defense stations.
What's the order?
Is it intentional for the vendor from Shipyard to not have colors and to have more abilities? Yes, so we basically went with kind of the idea of like PDF stuff from the Shipyards rather than having the full Republic livery. And as far as abilities, it's because they're the skirmish variants. To make it so that you couldn't, for example, get a galactic level unit with single unit retreat and then like retreat them from the battle and get a bunch of free units off of it. Because when single unit retreat was first introduced, that was something that people were doing a lot. So it just ends up being whatever the abilities for skirmish are, rather than having 3 variants being like the main one, a garrison one, and the skirmish one. It just made more sense for us to use the skirmish and garrison ones the same way. And then it's usually helpful to have a bit of a visual indicator where it makes sense for that kind of stuff. So
We're all set here. Command. Ready to commence.
it's just kind of the direction we took with the making the colors stay like that.
Copy. Yes, General.
Alright, starting to come in.
Space station under attack. Enemies in range. Get behind them. Target locked. What is it, sir? Hold up. This is Beta Squadron reporting in. I have them now.
Alright, for this we are just gonna try to go with power to weapons on them. Go up, probably do a little bit more tanking than we'd want. Just make sure that the Golan stays alive.
Reaching enemy hull.
Alright, let's see if I can pull you back already.
At your command. Targeting at maximum firepower. Ready for combat. Your orders, General.
Because we'll get another vendor.
Ready to commence.
Station ready.
And we're going to have to hold off 3 Lucre Hulks. So if we can keep the Golan a little bit stronger, a little bit longer, then I'm going to be happy with that. Alright, now you fall back there. Get up there. At this point we may as well just keep this one up here and let it die. But you guys are going to start coming back.
Ready to commence. Eliminating target. Reinforcements en route. Awaiting your orders, sir. Our hull is near critical. What's the order? Go after the stragglers. Ready for attack orders.
Our lasers are down. Orbital command available.
Regroup for another attack. I'm on them. At your command. Consider it history.
Stand back.
To commence. Yes, Admiral. All
Don't stay alive on engines. That's not helping anyone.
enemy starfighters coming in fast. Sir, this is First Squadron. We're pretty bad.
Are there any plans to add PDF garrisons to ground battles? Well, there's already the PDF troopers. That's what those are.
Ready for attack orders. At your command.
As far as like more planet specific stuff, that will happen, but those obviously require assets. So like the main priority has been on getting the core rosters for factions, for both factions, and then we'll expand on that. Like Umbara stuff will probably be pretty high priority now that we have a lot of the core stuff set out.
Reporting.
Like there's a bunch we're going to be adding for both factions still, but like the more planet-specific stuff that'll both act in like indigenous units, and as in some cases parts of their main roster under certain circumstances. Like that's all stuff that's going to be worked on.
Training weapons on target. We've reached the base perimeter.
But like even when units are only used in limited areas,
They're hitting us.
like they still take just as much work to do the asset as something that's a lot more common. So
Let's blow something up.
Ready for action.
that's generally one of the limiting factors there, is that like there are some planets like Kashyyyk and Naboo, where the Gungans and Wookiees, you could technically make a whole roster of shit for them based on like galactic battleground stuff, but that would still take as much time as doing a full roster for any other new faction.
Maximum firepower. We need you to take them out.
I got it. Coming back around for another run. Excellent shot.
We have been thinking about making the space-to-ground weapons rely on having a station. Some kind of limiting factor on being able to do that, because like there was the battle I did recently in the Republic playthrough, or no, in the Empire of the Hand playthrough, where I cheesed Lusankia by just chasing around or running away from it on the map with the frigates and then hyper velocity gunning. But I don't know how soon we'd be doing that.
Give me a target.
Harris is asking 8 plans on the super tank. That is probably going to come at some point.
Decoding transmission.
I used to get that confused with the seismic tank, which is much less likely to be in the mod because Empire at War wouldn't really be able to handle that very well.
Our target priority is the laser cannon. I thought those were against the rules. Sir, we need you to clear the area of all enemies.
Attack formation. Yes, Commander. Attacking the laser.
Station ready.
Oh, crap.
Yes, General. Ready for attack orders.
I shouldn't have killed that recusant.
I'm on them.
Orbital command available. Cruiser, standing by.
Alright, yeah, just get over to that side.
Here, Commander.
I'll clear the waters.
At your command.
Alright,
Primary
let's
target
start
acquired.
trying to kill those hard points.
Crush those.
This is what I was talking about earlier. If we are able to take down the turbo laser hard points from like here up, it's actually not going to be able to do much damage.
Awaiting your orders, sir.
Like it'll try to rotate around to be able to do more, but
Ready for attack orders. At your command.
it won't have the weapon arcs for it.
Stragglers.
Receiving
Regroup
message.
for another attack. They're coming in quick.
Yeah, like a seismic tank would probably have to be some sort of force push ability. I don't know if you'd actually be able to make that affect vehicles or something. Or I don't even know if it's like an actual damage value.
For action. Ready to commence. Targeting at
So like
maximum firepower.
they'd be wonky as shit at best.
All power diverting to weapons.
Station ready.
Cannot comply. Yes, sir.
The launch bay is gone.
Alright, maybe we'll kill a Lucre Hulk here.
Available.
Let's blow something up.
This has not been a good episode for progress for us.
You got the captain.
They're flanking us.
Blasters
At
charged.
your command.
This does not look good.
Ready yourself. Blue leader, you've got bugs on your tail.
Alright, that's a rip.
We have been defeated.
Alright, that's going to do it for the first episode here. We're going to record one more while we're going on Twitch. For those of you on YouTube, thank you for watching. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. And hope to see you next time. Bye, everyone.